We're here with, what's your name?
My name is Brianna Alicio.
Brianna. And are you homeless right now?
Yeah, I've been homeless for like the last 2 years.
Yeah. How did you end up homeless?
Honestly, I put in what is it? I put in my sick notices at Fry's. I was becoming, like I was having conductive, like over and over multiple sick days. Honestly, I became lazy. My mom started becoming someone to like, tell me she didn't want to do nothing. Like I was asking for help, like I needed daycare, but it was just becoming a little more. I was like lost in everything. I didn't know what was going on. I started asking the lady for my neighbor. I was working here at Fry's. I remember taking the light rail every day, an hour to downtown to 19th Avenue in Glendale. I remember trying my hardest to get an interview. I would try my hardest, and after that, I went to my mom's, and it was hard. It was hard. I tried so hard to speak up to people, but I started doing pills, and I started doing fentanyl pills. But it was a way for me to speak up, like be able to communicate in person. Like I couldn't, I didn't like smoking weed. Smoking weed to me was disgusting. Knowing like I didn't like CBD. I didn't like taking. I took vitamins, but like vitamins from the supplement area with all the medications, all the baby food, and everything like that. Food City, it was no different. I took a lot of stuff. I tried everything from like, I would test everything in the world. Like I just do it, not care.
Was that for your social anxiety?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I've always remembered like crowds ever since I was little. So, like ever since I was little, I would just think about big crowds, what's going on around me, and every time I would ask somebody for help, it was just more like they didn't pay attention, and I started noticing I was becoming scared of being around people,
Yeah.
and it was real. It was more. It was so real. Like I didn't know what people were, if they were real or if I was seeing stuff. And then it started becoming more like, okay, I know teleportation, I know teleporting, I know telegraphic. And that's when I was with somebody in the past, and he was bald. And I remember I thought people were using like a phone. And then I started questioning people about jailbase and a lot more other things. And that's when I started noticing there was a lot of investigating going on in the area. And that's when I remember telling somebody, I don't care what I gotta do to make sure that I get my voice out. I don't care about a job. I don't care if you look at me like if I'm a drug addict. I'll do anything to figure out who I am. And I did, and I guess I was talking to somebody that was really investigating in my life since I was little. And I just started noticing how much it was a lot of people doing stuff to me just so that they could live off of something I wasn't understanding. But you really can see a lot. And your hat. I don't like hats, but Desert Sky Mall has a lot to do with it because of the fact that I'm not a depressed person. I'm not a demonic person. I'm not somebody to hold grudges. I'm not somebody that likes the Ring, the scary movies, like eating candy. I really go to places because I'm hungry. I want to sleep. People don't know that my friend Reynaldo and Marisol Menta have a lot to do with it because of what I was going through in life and how much I seen. It was really hard. I don't like the apartments. I did dig a hole in behind the alley, right there where I had sex with somebody a long time ago, but it has nothing to do with the way I dug a hole because somebody knows that I was following him and he drew an X right there, and I remember drawing an X where I was looking at everything and I dug a hole and it just told me about a newspaper and it said 2025. It had Hot Cheetos, and I remember it had somebody else's
So how did you
tux.
get into the pills?
The pills. Honestly, I got into the pills because I started trying them around the time I lived on 63rd and McDowell.
Yeah.
There was neighbors. They used to say they were from like IPG and stuff like that, G Town, FIO, and all of them. And when I dug into the ground, I found a tuxedo, like a button up, and it had polka dots on it. So when I walk and I'm looking around, I see real designs. Like my eyes shows little bubbles with white and everything. Like my eyes point out a lot of things, and I hear nature, like real nature. Like I had a real life tell people, like people that were telling me, oh, they're people that were trying to get me to understand stuff like you have to say you're gonna kill yourself, or you have to say you're somebody that's alive and you're really true for being who you are. It was people that were bald, people like I met so many people in my life that I don't even pay attention to anything but knowing that I dug a hole, and I was so worried about the military sitting down over there. I got out of the Wood Spring hotels. My mom, when I was younger, she used to scare me. We used to live in townhouses, and I used to sit down, and my mom used to be like, she'd talk about The Grudge. I remember watching The Ring, and all I remember was like the cabinet story,
Yeah.
and that's all. Everything changed after that. But when I started becoming more scared and aware, I went to my house the other day. It's like my mom intentionally left me on the streets for the last 2 years. I don't know if she did it on purpose. I don't know. But I did meet a lot of people. But the real people I know that are like alive right now that would probably speak up for me is Marisol Armenta.
So, how old are you right now?
I'm 20 years old.
20 years old.
I used to lie and say that I was 18 just so that I could understand more about what's going on.
You look a lot younger.
Yeah, I started noticing a lot of stuff because it became something of like social anxiety, knowing I just know that I pointed out somebody's name. It's named Jennifer Boucher. I don't know, Boucher. I don't know if she's alive anymore. I don't know where she's at, but I know that people got in relationships. I know that people lied to me. I know I stole weed from somebody.
Yeah.
I know about the time where I stole Skittles weed. I went to go sit down with people that thought it was okay to just communicate with others.
When I pulled up, you were yelling and ranting out there, going crazy. What happened to you?
Just a couple days ago, I was chilling and I seen someone named Xavier Ortiz,
Yeah.
or Xavier, whatever his name is, like Desiree and all that. Like I had some bitch I know since I was younger named Desiree. She's my age. I know Diamond. I know all these people, and I started noticing Motel 6 and stuff like that. And after everything started happening, I started noticing people were using lighters on me, and I started noticing torches and stuff. Like people were making me feel like if I needed to remember a time when I was really in the projects, and all I remember was sitting on my dad's lap and my mother, and I remember climbing. I remember things that like my memory knows it's something that I need to remember, but it is something that's not going to affect me. So when I talk about feel and finding what I found in there, it points out a lot to me. Like when I figured out people like were really teleporting, doing all that telegraphic stuff, I literally had to remember someone named Tommy Hilfiger to know.
So where's your mom and dad right now?
Right now, I don't know. I literally have to go everywhere. I do everything. People want me to do dates. My MCSO didn't know I was talking to them and trying to talk to them. They just wanted me to say I was a drug addict.
Yeah.
But like they didn't understand what I was speaking about.
So you've been locked up before?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
I didn't like it. I did everything for people not to see me masturbate, like touch myself. I did everything to hold myself. I didn't understand what cold turkey means, but
Yeah.
now I understand now. Like I had an experience yesterday where my ovaries almost felt like they were gonna freeze.
Yeah.
I felt like my heart was gonna freeze. I started noticing, I was like, I'm not doing this for no commercials, but there's some a scene in like movies where the blood part where it's like a movie. It's real. It's based on a true story because I found somebody's tux, and all I remember when he took my virginity was we walked into his mother's house. After we walked into his mother's house, I remember his brother knew and his mother knew that I was losing my virginity, but I didn't talk about nothing. I just knew I found something, with his tux, because I remember his polka dot tux and them walking around. They were walking around, and I remember walking around, and I lost my virginity around January something in the past, right? I started noticing everything what was going on, and I didn't notice like how much people would be together doing stuff till I started thinking, and like I had a real seizure. And I had a real seizure, and I started telling my mom, like, can I please come in? Can I come in? She's like, no, you can't come in. I started noticing where I was going. I was going back and forth. A woman named Jennifer, she had a lot to do with it because of the fact that I would sit in her car. I remember speaking up, telling everybody I got molested. I didn't want to talk about it, but I talked about it too. So one of my baby fathers, he's my age. Well, I don't know, honestly. His name's Ricardo Logue, and I was trying to tell him to listen to what I was saying because everything I was going through, it was like something that was unbelievable.
And who was the person that molested you?
Jose Elicio?
Was it a family friend or?
No, his name's Jose Elicio. He's my father. And he molested me when I was 12. I remember being confused at the time, but I remember my father walking off. Yeah, but he didn't know what I thought he knew because I started getting the picture of why I was doing what I was doing. I was pointing out. Like right now I go numb. My fingers go numb. Like, as in numb, like I feel energy, but it's a vibration energy. And my eyes point out more than like I started understanding somebody named Emilio who's no good. I started understanding my brother Johnny who's no good. I went to the room, I went to lay down, and you could see stuff coming out of what you don't understand. You know, I stole a sweater above an apartment just so that everybody knew what I was seeing. And it was like multiple people, but when it comes down to it, I know that my baby father Ricardo, I went to somebody's house in Antonio, and there was a fucked up car, and I was just going through stuff. I was telling everybody the sound of the military was more important to me, pointing out how much a shovel was important to me, the torch, my brothers, knowing the deep stating them with signs, knowing that I seen somebody with tears, but I noticed hearing and everything like that. And Burger King became more like noticing to why I love taking pictures. I love telling the truth. I told the truth every day. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in religious. I don't believe in hypocritical. I don't believe in manipulation. I don't believe in anything, but I believe people will follow you. I believe people hold grudges. I don't hold grudges. I'm the type of person that I want to know the truth. I would like a circle to sit down with me, people that were really with me through everything, that know I took therapy, that know the time I threw up at a bench, know the time I knew somebody in school who was more important to me, to when it came to like understanding dating and what is not a game when you know people go paralyzed and crippled and stuff like that.
Okay, for my last question, if you had 2 wishes, what would they be? 2 wishes.
Just to be happy living in a house with my family and knowing I spoke up to somebody about the truth and everything that I don't want to have to deal with.
That's a good one. Well, thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.